There we go. Sorry about that. Now, wasn't there a time we could order it on Amazon? Is that still possible, or you're just ordering it right through you now?
Order it right through me because we just had issues with the Amazon. People weren't getting their copies because it's out of my hands when it comes to the Amazon.
Well, you know what? It's in your hands now, and so we're super excited that the book is on the market. I'm sure it's already helping people.
Yes, it has. Someone just messaged me the other day that they improved their score 60 points using what's in my book.
Wow. Are you serious?
Yes.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And now did I hear, see, because I like the I Spy things, right? Did I detect that you were maybe going to be writing another book?
Yeah. And the next book will be more towards how to really set up not only your credit, but your finances for home ownership. It's called the Credit Reset.
Okay. And how is that going to work? Like the credit reset, is that going to, so let's say you have bad credit right now and you get the first book, Crack the Code, and you're cracking the code and you're doing all this stuff. Will this kind of be the next level?
Yeah, it will be the next level for people who want to achieve home ownership, because Cracking the Code was more of a mastery level book where I covered a lot of different topics in as far as credit repair. But this second book will be very specific to going from 0 to 700 plus, so you can get the best interest rate, what you need to consider, everything from setting up your credit to picking your real estate agent.
Oh, that's fantastic. And do we think maybe, how long is that going to be? A year before that's out? What do we think?
Probably another month.
Oh, okay. Listen.
Yeah, I work really fast.
Then we're going to need you to come back in another month and tell us more about it.
I got you.
I was really hoping today that we could talk about the steps. I know you came before and we kind of went over this, but honestly, with the economy opening back up, we have more people reaching out to realtors like, hey, I'm ready to buy a home. What does that look like? Mm-hmm. And, some people just need a little help with their credit. So can you walk us through what the steps are? Like, where do you start when you want to fix your credit? And then what are those steps?
Right. So you want to start with getting a copy of your credit report, the most accurate copy you can get. And you want to go through and highlight everything on that credit report. One section, make it the errors on your credit report, things that aren't being reported accurately. And then another section, make it where it's what you've done in the past, some of the mistakes and hiccups you've had, highlight those. The second thing you want to do after you've taken pretty much inventory of your credit report, then you want to freeze your third-party credit bureaus. And you can do this right on the website for most of them, like LexisNexis, SageStream, and Innovis are the 3 largest third-party credit bureaus that help in the assistance of verifying your negative accounts, because while they're credit reporting agencies, they are not credit bureaus. So they do not have to follow the same rules. And that's why the credit bureaus use them to help them verify your negative accounts, because they can break the rules.
Oh, wow.
You want to freeze those, and you want to wait 30 days.
Okay.
Make sure those the freezes take effect, and you're going to want to take inventory of all your old addresses. Now, if you've lived at 4 or 5 different places, you want to have those removed. You want to just have 1 or 2, especially if those addresses are attached to negative accounts, because what the credit bureaus will do, they'll say, oh, this negative account is attached to this address and this name. You have this address and this name on your credit report, verified. But if you get those removed, and you can do this by just calling in, or you can send in a letter, you can get those removed, and then now you're 100% ready to attack the negative accounts. So what you do first is you send out a letter challenging the accuracy of said account. Whether it's yours or not, it doesn't matter. You challenge that accuracy of the account. Say you believe it isn't reporting 100% accurately.
Okay.
And then after you do that, they're going to send you a response. Either it's going to be a stall saying something like, oh, this seems like a suspicious request, or they think you're working with a credit repair company, or they'll say something to just buy them time, because they have a 30-day period to respond to you. And then after you get whatever response you get, sometimes they will either send back, hey, we did the investigation, everything was fine. And this is where Section 609 of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and you can use this. You don't have to know the law, but you can know exactly what it does.
609, what?
You don't have to know the law, but you can know exactly what it does. You reserve the right to receive written verification of what that credit bureau did to verify the negative account. So we asked them what they did, who they spoke to, how long they've been at that company, as far as the whatever credit agency you're working with, how long they've been there, who they spoke to, what time they spoke to them. And we want to get a large list of everything that they did. Now, if they send you back that large list, 99% of the time they do not, that's usually where accounts fall off. But if they do not, you want to, of course, get a copy of my book. To get the credit bureaus have different addresses that they open and shut down and they don't release to the public. I've made those public in my book. And what you do is you take one account. Let's say there's one account for $10,000 and it's reporting inaccurately. So amongst those 3 addresses for, let's say, one credit bureau, Experian, you take those 3 addresses and you send a dispute letter to each one of the addresses with a different dispute reason for the same account. This usually ends up confusing the credit bureaus, and they'll usually just they'll drop the ball in some way, shape, or form, because they only have 30 days to respond, and they'll usually end up getting the account removed. So those are the steps.
That's a lot of steps.
That is a lot of steps.
So for those who are just tuning in, we are here with Vernell Watts. Vernell is a credit expert. He's out of California. He's been nice enough to come back a second time now.
Vegas,
right? Vegas. So what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So he's been kind enough to kind of jump back with us again, and he's just kind of going over the steps to repair your credit if you've had some hiccups in the past. I see several of you are watching. Jean Marie, I see your comment. I appreciate that. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. I'm watching it. Vernell's here to answer them. He's here to help. So now let's say you're someone you're extremely busy. You've had some hiccup on your credit. You really want to get it taken care of, but you personally don't have the time to do it. What does that look like?
What that looks like is getting on a call with me or one of my certified consultants. We've been certified through several different programs, from basic disputing all the way up to advanced FICO disputing. And we can take a look at your credit report and see what exactly we can do, and pretty much give you a roadmap of what we're going to do to improve your credit score, and a general timeline. It's been weird because a lot of things have been taking a little bit longer than usual, because people are working from home and it's harder to get the freezes, and the companies aren't replying, and we're having to demand them to comply and respond to our letters. So the timeline has been a little bit off as it would usually be, but we can still give you a general timeline of what we're going to do and exactly when we're going to do it.
Okay. So let's say, you are somebody, you've had a couple of hiccups, but you've paid everybody, but there are just things that are reported negative on your credit. Do you recommend having those accounts moved? Do you recommend just leaving them alone?
You can get those removed based on how many times you have been late on that account. So let's say you had a car loan for 5 years and you were late once. It's not going to be worth it to remove it. It'll actually probably lower your score drastically. So it wouldn't be worth it. But if you had a credit card that you were late on in a span of a year, you were late on it 12 times. You're going to want to get that.
You're going to want to get that off. But obviously it has to be a closed account at that point for you to get that off, right? Okay.
And it's easier to get them removed because the people have gotten their money, and that's really what it's all about.
And they don't care at that point. They're like, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But you got to love it, right? They're like, we don't care. We got paid. Take it all.
Right.
That's the truth of it, right? That's the truth of it. Because I don't think that we're in any way condoning anybody not paying any monies that they might owe to any company out there. We're just trying to provide some solutions and some steps you can take to improve your credit, to help you buy that house, to help you buy that car, to help you, do whatever the next step is for you, and just get a little bit better of an interest rate doing it, right?
Right, because credit reporting and your obligation and contracts to pay debt are two different things.
Exactly, exactly. And that's very, sometimes people don't realize these things don't all go together, right?
Right.
There's so many different, it's not like the credit bureau is the one who's lending you the money. They're
Right.
not your creditors. They're just the person monitoring what the creditors are telling them.
Exactly. They're
So,
just housing information.
right. And they're just housing information. And that information is going to determine whether you're considered good credit, bad credit, risky, So monitoring that and making sure you know what that looks like is very important.
Right.
Is there a place people can go to learn how to read their credit reports?
If you want to know how to read your credit reports, you can take my free credit masterclass. I go over it a little bit and I show you where you can get your credit reports for free, the
Okay.
easiest way.
Okay.
And we talk a little about reading your credit reports, but once you get if you go through the credit monitoring that I recommend, it's usually really easy to read them. And that's why I use that one, because when you order them from my free annual report, I mean,
Okay.
it is so confusing to read, and it's pages and pages and pages. I
Oh,
think it's a lot more simple to print out a simple graph that has each account lined up
right.
and all three bureaus, what they're reporting. That's so much more simple than dealing it with page after page. And that's why people, they have issues doing it, because they're taking the hardest route. They don't want to spend any money. They don't want to put in any work. They want everything for free, and they don't want to put in any legwork. They just want to go over. It's going to be a lot harder if you're looking to go through that, because I've tried to read some of those annual credit reports for people who didn't want to get the credit monitoring, but I just can't work with it because it's so difficult to read and go through all those, because I just missed something on the first page, but I'm already on page 30. Some of those things are like 50 pages long for no reason.
And I'm from a consumer's point of view, like I'm going to be honest, I think they do that so that you don't really know what's going on with your credit
Exactly.
because they don't want to answer questions. They
Right.
just want to just sit back in their little offices and go click, 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 and determine your life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, whoa, bro, you have a responsibility to yourself to, like you said, spend the money, get the report, and figure out what's going on. Because
Right.
ultimately, I have conversations a lot about real estate, so I'm always going to reference that. But I did come out of the auto industry, and I don't think people quite understand exactly what all the information is on their credit bureau. I can tell you when the first time you filed for credit was. I can tell you what your highest limit of credit was. I can tell you how many times you've been late on accounts. I can tell you how many open accounts you have, how much money you have available to you, depending on your revolving accounts. Like there is so much information on a credit bureau. And if you know how to read it, you can dig right into somebody's life. Like, I used to have these conversations with people and it would always amaze them. They had no idea that this is all coded on your credit bureau. It's all there.
Right.
And I said to a couple one time, I'll never forget it. They had filed for credit in 1972. That's the year I was born. I was like, well, yeah, you filed for credit the first time in 1972. That's the year I was born. And like her jaw hit the table. She was like, you can see that? It's like there. So when you pay that extra money and you get that bureau that's actually legible, there is a lot of information on there and you're going to want to make sure that's correct. I love that you're spreading this information across the country. I think it's way overdue. I think that there's been a lot of years that, I'm that generation, right? I'm that generation for now. We were the suckers. They were like, here, take a credit card. It's no big deal. My parents had never really dealt with credit. They came from that cash generation, right?
Yeah.
So we were the ones in credit debt for years. Trying to figure it out. And so now it's nice that we're in a time where that information is readily available and people can make a more educated decision about what they're doing.
Right. And they can't hide stuff. A lot of these, especially these big credit bureaus, I made a video about the Experian boost and how it's pretty much a setup. Oh, first of all, not making any claims toward Experian boost, but I read the terms of service and what they're actually doing. The only FICO scores that they're boosting are useless FICO scores, outdated FICO scores. And the intention is to get access to your bank account. So now they have more information about you. So now they can sell and market your information to big credit card companies. Now they can verify your accounts easier.
That's
So
outrageous.
they're they're boosting your outdated FICO scores, and
Right.
then they're boosting your Vantage scores. So what you would see on Credit Karma.
You
And they
know,
have people paying for this, and then they require you to get their credit monitoring, which puts you further down the rabbit hole of them gathering your information.
right, right. And that rabbit hole is going down far these days. You
Yeah.
know, it really is. Um, you know, it's interesting that you bring that up because I do have somebody who put boost on their credit, right, trying to improve their credit score. And I hear you say different versions. So for those of the people not out there in the world who don't know this, there are different versions of credit. And I remember it changed. It went from like version 04 to version 08 a couple years ago.
Yeah, FICO
And I
8.
think it changed again.
Yeah,
And
FICO 10.
now it's up to FICO 10. So you're saying that they're updating FICO 4, which nobody's using for anything?
Yeah, and Vantage Score, which is just your pretty much your Credit Karma.
Okay, so let's try to make this in terms people understand. So basically, credit bureaus have been the same as like the cell phone evolution. So you're saying Boost is updating the score that's on the Flip Razor, but the rest of the world is working off of a 10 iPhone.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm just trying to break it down so people understand because it is a lot of information when you
Yeah, let
start
me
trying to
reference.
learn about
Let me
credit.
get the exact FICO scores that they use just to
Yeah. And
make
while you do
sure.
that, I want to pull up your website just so everybody can know where to go and find you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I want people to know where to find Vernell. Um, we love us some Vernell. Okay, so this is Vernell's website. He is Fortune 800. You can go in here. Is there a place here on the website they can sign up for the free class?
Now the free class, I'll link it right under here. It's
Okay, we'll
the
drop the
free
link
class.
in. That's
Yeah.
fine. But this is his website. You can go here. He's got some information available to you. You can read through. You can also go ahead and schedule yourself a free consultation. He's amazing with credit, and every time I talk to him, I learn something new. So that's fortune800.com. Make sure you go over there and take a look around if you're interested in doing anything with your credit. I know Vernell would love to help you. And as you can see, he's just a down to earth dude, man. Like I know most, my people are in Delaware. So yes, he can help us here in Delaware because credit can all be done through the mail. Like it's all, snail mail. So it doesn't matter that you don't live in the same area.
And I pulled up the FICO scores at the Experian Boost. They boost.
Right.
It's FICO 8, FICO 9, Vantage Score 3, Vantage Score 4. So let's say you get Experian Boost to get your home loan.
Okay.
And they go and they boost Experian FICO Score 8. And then you go and your lender is pulling your TransUnion and Equifax FICO Score 10.
Right.
Experian, you just wasted money. You wasted $25 per month because they're not even pulling it up. And with each credit bureau, there is a different set of scores. So you have a score and they calculate how you pay down said loan. So if you go to get a car loan, they calculate it different because they want to consider how you've paid down car loans. You go to get a home loan, they calculate how you have dealt with home loans. You go to get a credit card and they calculate how you've paid down your credit cards. So doing this is a waste of money.
Yeah. And so just so you understand, there is what he's saying is there are specific bureaus, right? So there's an auto specific bureau. And I know that for a fact coming out of the auto industry because it wanted to calculate what was the risk of you taking an auto loan. There's mortgage specific, there's credit card specific. So it's not that generic Credit Karma.
Right. That means nothing.
It really, and it's so, it's very disheartening from a consumer's point of view because you really think that you're doing all the right things. I've got my Credit Karma. I know my score is this. I've done this. I've done that. I've done the other. And it's all, then they go to apply for something and they get declined or they don't get the best interest rate and they don't understand why.
Right. Like why? My Credit Karma said I was at 730.
It's, and I can tell you firsthand from dealing with credit that You can have a 730 credit score and get denied for a loan, and you can come in 2 seconds later, have somebody with a 630 credit score get approved.
Right, based on how they've paid on said.
Or, yep. And if you have a 730 and you only have one account and it's less than a year old, you really don't have anything.
Yeah, that's the position I was in when I was 18. I thought I had great credit, but it really meant nothing because I only had one credit card.
Exactly. And you don't even have it because they like to see, that paid as agreed for a certain number of years. You've had that credit card for 8 months and I'm a 730. I can buy what I want. Maybe not.
Exactly. And that's what we would call a thin credit file. So you would need a list of guaranteed approvals that you can get to help boost not only your the capacity in which you can borrow, but how often you've been trusted with said credit card or loan, installment loan, home loan.
I really appreciate this information, and I hope that if there's anybody out there who has any questions, they're going to drop in their questions over here. I see George came in, Richard's here, Don's here, John's here. I got Candy in there. You have Jean in there, and Paul is in there. If anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to drop your questions over here in the chat. Vernell's here to answer them. And so, yeah, we really want to help with anything. Is there anything that you think anybody should know that they might not have ever thought of? Dun, 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 dun. You know me, I'm going to ask the hard questions.
That they've never thought of.
Yeah.
I really think that people should consider the power of an authorized user trade line. So let's say I have a credit card that I've been paying on and kept the utilization, just the amount I spend on the card, between 1% and 7%. And I've had it for 5 years. And you need an extra account to qualify for your mortgage, because sometimes they require a certain amount of trade lines or primary accounts on your credit report to get the home loan. Now you come to me and you say, hey, I need X, Y, and Z. And I say, I can get you 5 years of back reporting history. This is the only way to take the time clock and put it backwards on your credit report.
Okay.
So I can take you can take my history and apply it to your credit report as an authorized user, never see a credit card, go and get your loan, and then I can remove you right after. That's how I started doing my credit. I was seeking out authorized users, and I would be on, get what I needed to get to help boost my score in the long run, and then I would be taken off. Right. So that's how I got started, and that's how I was able to get so much credit line at a young age. I was 19 with like 85,000 in credit card lines.
Good job.
That's how I did it.
But I hope you didn't go in $85,000 in debt.
No, not even close.
Because, at that young age, you don't want to bury yourself in debt.
Yeah, I made some poor decisions, but not that deep. They were fixable with the right information.
There you go. So, I mean, like I said, I just really appreciate this. I guess, I'm trying to think what other questions someone might have. I checked the chat. We don't have any questions over there. So how long, if somebody's got blips on their credit, what is a reasonable time frame they can expect it to take to get it cleared up properly?
Yeah, depending on what's on your credit report, I'd say about 3 months is a solid is a solid timeline, and that'll give you enough time to not only remove, but then I can coach you on how to rebuilding, getting plugged in with credit building products, because my company, we have a strong network of not only all the best real estate agents, but all of the best credit card and credit building product vendors. Wow. We have a list of guaranteed approvals that we can get for you just on the strength of our relationship with those companies. Wow. We have a list of guaranteed approvals we can get you. We know what are the best secure cards that report to which bureaus, and we can really craft a special building process for you. And we never charge for that because our vendors, they pay us on the back end. So we never charge anyone to pretty much set up a credit building plan for you.
That's amazing. And that's amazing service for anybody looking to just kind of improve their credit and take it to the next step. I'm a real estate here in the state of Delaware. If you're looking to buy a house and you have a couple little credit blips, man, reach out. I can connect you with Vernell and get that process started, because as I'm sure you've heard with several of the webinars I've done over the last several months, you definitely want to start. Like if you're thinking about buying a house in the beginning of 2021, you're going to want to start looking at everything now. You're going to want to look at your credit and maybe get with Vernell if you need to do anything. I don't know, but we can find out, and Vernell's there to help. Right. Do you have any final words for anybody?
Yeah, the Credit Reset is going to be a free book for those when it comes out. It's, all you have to do is cover the shipping and handling. It's going to be a free book. I'm using it as a credibility building. It's going to be, I'm putting in a lot of work and research into not only the credit side, but the home ownership side. I'm talking to all the mortgage lenders that I'm connected with, the real estate agents I'm connected with, and I'm really piecing together this information. And I want to give it to people for free. Just cover the shipping and handling when it comes out. And
virtual high five. That's amazing. Oh my God, I love everything about what you just said. So I'm definitely going to want you to come back when that book comes out, and then hopefully we can give some copies away while we're on air. That would be
right.
amazing.
Yes. Anyone who tunes in, I'll send you a copy. If you tune into our next webinar, don't even worry about covering shipping and handling. I'll do that.
I love
that. Tune in and get this information and spread it to your family members, your friends. So unlike my family, who was taken advantage of in several different ways financially in the past, I want to make sure that people aren't being taken advantage of in the future, and they're in a position where they have the right information, and creating wealth or abundance for themselves is a choice.
You know, Vernell, I'm so glad that we met. This is why I love having them on here. Look at this. How do you beat somebody who just wants to help? Listen, if you need him for any reason, reach out. Fortune800.com is his website. If you can't find him, contact me. I'll get you in touch, and I'm going to make sure all the links are down below in the comments. We really appreciate everybody watching today. We hope everybody has a great day. Appreciate you coming and joining us, Vernell.
Yep.
Next time, be back to normal, and people will be like, yeah, let's get that credit right.
Right, for sure. That's what I'm waiting for too.
Yes. Thanks, Vernell. Have a good one.
Thank you too.
Bye.